Welcome to episode 68 of my podcast, The View from the Crow's Nest. Hope you're doing well today. I hope everything in your world and in your life is fantastic and as good as it could be. Come and let me know. I really do want to know. Come and let me know on Twitter at Romeo Crow. Otherwise this is all a bit too much of a one-way street, isn't it? Nonetheless, I'm still going to continue down that one-way street right now. So today, continuing on from yesterday, today I wanted to move forward with this idea of working on my business and not in it. So in a very brief nutshell, meaning trying not to do the day-to-day stuff that needs to run the business, but to do the overview stuff that will actually grow the business. And so I had managed to delegate most of the tasks that I had hoarded or hadn't yet delegated to the other guys on the team, and I decided that I would spend the first part of the day focusing on not even opening any messaging or anything like that, and really just focus on something important. So in this particular case it was developing a potential kind of sort of, not a product, that's a bit strong, but a questionnaire basically that can help out potential customers and also filter out potential customers so everybody kind of wins basically. So I was working on that, putting the questions down and blah blah, and then mid-morning or whatever I moved over to working a bit more in the business and feeling pretty good. The day went and it got to, I don't know, about 6 o'clock or something like that, and I really felt like, you know what, I can end this day here. I'm in control of stuff again basically. I really feel, I've got a huge inbox that I need to go through, but that's not necessarily to do with Audience Ninja. So I felt really good and relaxed basically, it's working, I'm getting through stuff. But I did have a kind of a reminder, an even bigger reminder to myself, and that's got me thinking, which is not to forget the reason why I decided to kind of start this, why we decided we wanted an agency, even just a month ago, and that was because we wanted to have a team that would grow our own projects first and foremost, and those projects, first and foremost for myself, would be creative ones, so music and writing predominantly. And this morning I was working on this questionnaire to bring in more customers and clients for Audience Ninja, and then I remembered this evening or this afternoon, I was like, hang on a minute, remember that the whole reason is to free me up so I can spend more time on music and writing the things that I'm passionate about, and hopefully have a slight natural talent to at least impart for them. And I want to join those together and then have a team that can help take care of the stuff that otherwise takes me ages to get sorted in the back end, but actually doesn't necessarily create the art. The other stuff is very, very important. It's packaging and marketing the art basically, but it doesn't, it's not the creation, and I want to focus on the creation side. And so then I remembered that the whole kind of idea of Audience Ninja was also to niche for musicians principally, and then creative people. And I wanted to use myself as a case study by using Grip the Sky experience as, which if you've listened to this before then you'll know. If you haven't, then it's my upcoming EP release, but I'm doing it in hopefully a bit more, it's called Grip the Sky, the EP, but the Grip Sky experience is a bit more of an involved project, which hopefully will be much more fun for people and much more enjoyable for them to go through in order to listen to the songs. And it was so nearly finished, but I didn't quite get to finish it before I was embroiled in having clients kind of thrust upon me really, or the opportunity was there to earn money, and it was really important to take the opportunity when it comes, but actually that's totally derailed my last kind of 4 or 5 weeks or whatever, 6 weeks maybe, and all I've been doing is focusing on that. So I wanted to get back, finish the Grip the Sky experience, use that as a marketing experiment as much as anything else to test this idea that I've got, to see if it works, and then from there hopefully it becomes a case study that this was the whole idea, that other musicians might go, oh, that's really cool and it works, all right, yeah, I'd like to do something like that, how do we do it, blah blah blah. And from there Audience Ninja would help these musicians. fast forward to, now, 6 weeks later, and obviously we've had a couple of clients. One of them is in the tech startup, totally different, but the other one is actually a record label with 2 artists. So we're just doing some foundational work with them, but that was quite fortuitous because, brilliant, they can be the case studies as well. And so I wanted to remind myself that was the initial idea. And actually, if we focus on musicians, or let me back up a tiny bit. One of the key ways to make a business successful, I believe, is to have like a figurehead who is the face of the business. Think Richard Branson, think Elon Musk. So many years ago, it was all about the product. That's all anybody knew about. Hoover or whatever became synonymous because of the product. Then the brand name, companies started taking the brand names from the products because they realized that actually they could make more products, and if people recognize the name, then they could sell more products to the same person. And so then sort of faceless companies were a bit more around, and that was the focus, and that was fine. You could be a faceless company, and so you had products that people recognize, you had brands that people recognize, and then slowly but surely you now have the CEOs leading the companies, and now they're becoming the brands in their own rights. And then soon it will move from not just the CEOs, but it'll also be, heads of departments will start becoming very recognizable and building their own brand. And we're moving towards a place where it's vitally important to, it already is, but it's vitally important to build your own brand, even if you're working in any company, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, whether you're creative or not, whatever. It's really important to be brand building and start owning your corner of the internet, and understanding that people will search for you, and actually the more your brand has trust and authority, and hopefully some loyalty, even some followers and some fans, the easier it will be to leverage that for opportunities in the future, and opportunities will come to you. Basically, another way of saying it is the better that you're known and liked, the more people will come to you. That's been as old as the hills kind of thing. Anyhow, so utilising that idea, the idea with the business is you don't want to be a faceless person running the business or behind the business. You want the business to have a name and a face, and somebody who's doing podcasts, somebody who's doing vlogs and video stuff, etc. The problem is, once you decide to go down the road of becoming the this face of the company, then you're kind of in it for the long haul, because if you stop, that can really be to the detriment of the company, and therefore you really want to love what you're doing. It needs to be natural, otherwise it's going to be hard to keep that going. And it was occurring to me this afternoon that I'm starting to focus on Audience Ninja as, okay, it's a business, I need to build it, and what's the best ways I believe of building it? Okay, being the face of the company and blah, blah, blah. But actually, that's taken me in the wrong direction, because I don't want to be, for years and years having to focus on delivering videos where I'm the face of the videos, on marketing for the sake of just marketing. And so I kind of hit that, actually, no, I want to be doing music. I want to be known for music and creative writing and, maybe photography, filmmaking. And so then I had this kind of reset in my mind, which was back to what I was discussing earlier, the focus of the whole agency anyway, and then it was to work with me, and then it was to work with clients who are musicians and blah, blah, blah. And then I realized that in that capacity, if we niche the agency and really do focus on musicians, and then later we can expand to creative, let's say, two things happen. One, any work that I do in building my personal brand with my own music or my writing or whatever, but obviously particularly my music, actually does support the agency, because, it shows that it works kind of thing, and then that kind of leads into that. So they're not at cross purposes. And if I speak on camera or whatever for the agency in terms of music, which I'm obviously passionate about and have history in, etc., then those are good bedfellows. And two, my thinking was, and I haven't checked this by any stretch, but there probably aren't that many digital services and marketing agencies that are really focused on musicians. There are some companies that offer sort of services for musicians, but this isn't what I'm talking about. They're kind of like you buying into their platform or something like that. Not that they're going to be doing marketing as an agency for you as a client kind of thing. And I really feel that there's a niche there, there's a gap in the market, and actually that's perfect for Audience Ninja, which was the original idea kind of thing. So all of this, 10.5 minutes is to say that, I managed to get myself into a good position where I'm kind of on top of things, back in control. I'm delegating stuff to the team. Hopefully stuff's getting done. Obviously I've got to monitor it, but now I'm freeing up a bit of time to focus on the most important project. And now I've reminded myself that actually music and getting Grip the Sky experience done has actually become the most important project also for Audience Ninja, because the quicker I get that done out testing, the quicker I can have results that I can then use as hopefully case studies and as marketing collateral in order to bring in other musicians that we can help to achieve the same thing. So all in all, I'm kind of got a bit more focused. They've kind of come together after 5-6 weeks of kind of and then putting an agency together really quickly, and that was 2 weeks ago. We started properly with clients and with team members. Quite quickly now, when you look at it from 2 weeks out rather than just when I was in the trenches, things are getting organised and there's a bit more focus to it, and now I can see the path. So I'm feeling good about that, basically. And that's going to be the focus over the next, the rest of this week. We're Wednesday, so the rest of this week will be making sure that the processes are in place and strengthening and whatnot within Audience Ninja in order that client work is getting done and getting dealt with and communications there, etc. And internally, we're communicating with each other and we're working how we should be and we know what's going on, etc. So that will still be the focus for this week, but then hopefully that will free up also this week, but certainly for next week, my focus to be much more on music, basically, on Grip the Sky experience. So the difference between now and 5-6 weeks ago when I was last working on it is now I've got a team of 2 guys working full time, theoretically, who can help support the project, and that's a massive improvement. That's a big change. So fingers crossed it'll all pan out like that. Obviously I will report back to myself and to you via this podcast and give you the view from the crow's nest as it as it plays out. So thank you very much for sticking with me. Thanks for listening. And if you want anything, come over and see me on Twitter at Romeo Crow. Other than that, have yourself a wonderful, jolly, awesome day. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye.